Hi guys, this recording it's for example 3 from section 10.3, okay, on the ellipse. All right, so example 3 says write an equation for the ellipse. So first we have to identify the major axis. The major axis is parallel to the y-axis, okay? What does that really mean? It means that I want to start with an equation of x minus h square, okay, over something plus y minus k square over something. It's either a square or b square, always equals to 1. How do you know which one gets a square? Remember, the a square is always the bigger of the two, right? Because the major axis is parallel to the y-axis, this gets a square here, and that means this gets b square. So first you have to figure out what is the center and how much is A, and then you can figure out how much is B. Because we're just writing an equation, I don't really need C. Okay, so the center looks like it's right here. If I will count, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So A, it's 6. That means A square is what? Oh, you know what? I just counted incorrectly. I completely forgot to, forgot to count. Look at the tick mark on the side. So the major axis is still here, but this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4, okay? So from the center, okay, so let's, what the center is. The center is -2, 1. I was going by the boxes, but that is incorrect because I forgot to look at the tick marks on the x and y axis. Okay, so the center is -2, 1. What that means is now I want to count the boxes up and down to see how many units is A and B. So from the center, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So A is really 3. That means A square is 9, okay? I can also count to get B from the center, 1 and 2. So that means B is 2. That means B square is 4. So when you're writing an equation, it's that easy. You just need to know your A and B. So final answer is x minus a -2 square all over. B square is 4. Oopsie, there are my popped-ups. Okay. Plus y minus k. K happens to be 1 squared all over. A squared is 9. Always equals to 1. Well, 2 negatives over here, it will make it a positive. So that is my final answer. I'm going to box it up. And that is that easy. So recap, to find an equation of an ellipse, all you need is a squared, b squared, and the center. Example 4. The mean distance of Mars from the Sun is 142 million miles. If the perihelion of Mars is 128.5 million miles, what is the aphelion? Write an equation for the orbit of Mars about the Sun. So if you remember, we have this picture drawn at the very front of this unit, right? So we drew a picture and we say, hey, sun, hey, Mr. Golden Sun, please come out and play. That's what my kids would sing. Okay, so here's the sun somewhere over here, okay? Then we want to know we have to write an equation and we want to know what is aphelion. So aphelion, based on our definition, is the longer distance from the sun. Okay, that means perihelion is the shorter distance from the sun. So this is where it is. Okay. And based on our instruction here, it says that the perihelion is 128.5 million miles. And in addition, it went on and it said, hey, the mean distance, it's 142 million miles. And based on the definition, oh my gosh, these pop-ups are driving me crazy. Based on the definition, the mean distance is from the center, okay, to the vertex or one of the vertices. Okay, so this is your mean distance. So it says 142 million miles. Okay. So to write an equation, we would start with the standard form. Okay, I'm going to assume the center is at 0, 0. Center at 0, 0. Just like in just like in application of the bridges or the satellite or the searchlights, okay, you can move the vertex anywhere you want. In this case, you can move the center anywhere you want, but it's probably best and easiest for us if we start at the center 0, 0. This one, the major axis, is horizontal. That means it's along the x-axis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the standard form. So x minus h squared. Because it's horizontal, a squared, the larger value goes here, plus y minus k squared all over b squared equals 1. So all I need is to find what a squared is supposed to be and b squared is supposed to be, since I already know the center. The center is just going to be x squared because the h is 0, okay? So I know, okay, again, I know what the mean distance is. The mean distance is 142 million miles. That is the value of a. So this is the value of a. So to do a square, okay, I'm going to assume that this is all in million of miles, okay? A square, I'm going to square it. So 20,164 million miles. So that's a square. Now, I can totally try to find b, because that's what I need to write an equation of my line. And I'm going to go back to the equation of a square. It's always b squared plus c squared. Okay. Well, I know what a squared is, right? A squared is 20,164 million miles. I'm going to leave the million alone for right now, because later I'll just put it back, equals, I need to know what b squared is so I can use my equation. Well, I know how to get to c, right? C is the focus. C is the distance from the center to focus. Well, the sun is one of the foci, okay? The sun is one of the foci. And if I know this whole mean distance is 142, so that means I can find C. C equals 142 million, take away 128.5 million using my calculator, which I don't know where it is. Let's figure this out. C comes out to be 13.5 millions, okay? I will write the millions later, but right now that's what C is. Well, since I know C, I will now plug it back in here. B squared, unknown, okay, plus 13.5 squared. So now I will try to find b squared equals 20,164 million minus what's 13.5 squared. Let me punch it in my calculator. 13.5 squared is 182.25 million. So 182.25 millions. I will subtract those two. So 20,164, take away my answer. So b squared is 19,981.75 million. So keep this in mind, we're in million of units here. So now that I have that, let's write the equation, okay? So x, oh my gosh, look at this, all the pop-ups. X, h is 0, so it's x squared. A squared is known, 20,164 in millions, plus y squared all over 19,981.75 millions, okay, equals 1. This is just the equation. Then it wants to know what is the aphelion. Aphelion is that longer distance, okay? So all I'm really going to do is I'm going to take 2 times the mean distance in terms of millions, take away my shorter distance, which is 128.5 millions, which is now going to give me 155.5 million miles is the aphelion. Okay, so this is really kind of putting back into, do you know what word means what in the orbital of Mars around the sun? And this is the end of our example.